Well, it's almost like some in the legacy media are rooting for President Trump not to win, rooting against Americans. The storylines are not reflective of what a lot of the reality is. April, the jobs report is April jobs report due out Friday. In March, 228,000 jobs were created. I mean, that was stronger than expected. Tell us about what you are seeing now in the short term and your long-term plan.
Well, I will say on the outset, if you're rooting against the president, then you're rooting against the American economy and the American worker. And my job in this role as the Department of Labor Secretary is to assist the president and tell him the story of the American worker. Again, as you mentioned, 228,000 jobs were added last month. I am hopeful and positive that we'll see the numbers continue to gain with the repatriation and the investments. $5 trillion has already come back to the investments in this country. We've seen manufacturing jobs, almost 9,000 jobs brought back, 13,000 construction jobs. So we're hopeful. This is a positive thing for American workers. That's my number one job. I've kicked off my 50-state tour, America at Work, for a reason, and we've already been to 5 states, and we are hearing from those workers, those businesses, that this is important to them, that we're on the ground. And as you've mentioned, the president has built a formidable team with the secretaries, and we're all deployed across the country to do just the job that he's asked, and that's to deliver on the promises that he made to the American people.
We were showing some of the video. I mean, yeah, you're out there, you're talking to the American workers. Tonight, he's in Michigan. He's talking to people as well that are going to be in the auto industry. I mean, this is a big push to really be, you said it's America at Work, the listening. And so much of this administration is about transparency, unlike the last administration where there were jobs numbers and they had to be revised and no one knew what was actually happening with Secretary Chavez-DeRemer. So now we have another piece of this, and it comes down to immigration. The illegals who are collecting unemployment benefits, you actually wrote a letter to all state governors, and you're putting them on notice that they have to comply with President Trump's wishes or they risk losing federal funding. This is part of what your letter outlined. Have they been receptive to your words here and the seriousness of this?
I think it's important for the American people to understand that we do not want to have waste, fraud, and abuse. And while we use those terms lightly, they are serious. Unemployment insurance is for the program for the people who deserve it most and who need that program, not for it to be abused. So when I sent those letters to our state partners, I want to be the best federal partner I can be, despite who the governor is. And I want to work with all of them. I met with the governor of Oregon when I was home last time to have these conversations, and I would expect them to honor what the president's executive orders have wished, and I will do exactly that. So that's what he's asked. I want to work with them to have the best outcomes and work with all of our state partners. That is key in order to protect the unemployment insurance trust fund for the people who need it most.
We talk about the investments. President Trump spent a lot of his life making deals, doing, things that it was not a politician. He wasn't, in Washington, in the Beltway. Look at these headlines here. We just want to put them up. $500 billion, $150 billion, $21 billion, energy dominance. Secretary, in our final moments here, this is going to be jobs for Americans. Jobs seem like they are coming back here faster than a pace we had ever seen before. But give us your read as you're there on the inside watching this play out day by day at the White House.
Well, the president is certainly the president of the American worker. He says at every single cabinet meeting, as he has given us direction as cabinet secretaries to work together, be on the ground, understand that they are first and foremost. If we can always have a conversation about growing this economy, protecting the American worker first, it is only going to be good for America as a whole. And we are going to be the dominant leader across the world. And that is why you're seeing these other countries come to the negotiating table, fair trade practices, making sure that we can keep costs down and that people can keep more of their hard-earned dollars that they work so valuable for their families, for their children, for the future of this country. The president has it right, and we are behind him 100%. These first 100 days have been successful, and I would imagine the next 100 days is going to be even more exciting for the American people.